My name is Aidan, also known as Turtleboy.
He is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were going to take my baby out of her vent and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know. People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never going to stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
It's go time. Tick, tick, boom. Bringing the noise. Go, baby, we bringing our toys. Bringing from the boys. Chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Tick, tick, boom. Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go time. Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone out there doing tonight? Good, excellent. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second here. All right, I think it's all queued up. All right, we're ready to rock here. Okay, cool. How's everybody doing tonight out there? Excellent. Sorry I'm late. I just got back from Canton. If you missed the impromptu live, I went to the Board of Selectmen meeting, made my first appearance there. Been wanting to check out what's happening there. Been watching the people revolting there and participating in the democratic process. And I understood that people were silenced this week, so I wanted to show my solidarity with them by attending. And I got a taste of it myself. The meeting was adjourned early because I asked a question at the end and that they killed the meeting. So, and then I had a confrontation with Chris Albert. Well, not a confrontation really. I escorted him to his car, and then I had a confrontation with the grandpa Eclipse there. I don't know who that guy was, but we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out. I had a conversation afterwards with a guy who I feel like we can convert. Maybe. I don't know. And then a lot of Turtle Riders and Canton residents were there voicing their displeasure as well. And so it was a real exercise in democracy tonight. So had a busy night. I didn't announce that I was going there because I don't like to, I don't want, I realize that I bring a crowd sometimes and it's a small room. So I really didn't want to make a circus out of this. So I wanted to just show up, and it's nice to see people there, even without I didn't say I was going, and there's still a lot of people there. So this is an organic movement. I like the way it's going, and free Karen Reed. We're going to do that, folks. So anyway, and thanks for the Turtle Rider who made me this shirt. It came in handy tonight. All right. Anyway, so yeah, welcome to the show. The socials are all in the bio. Follow us everywhere. Smash the subscribe button. We do this every Tuesday and Saturday night, unless I have something scheduled. The next show Saturday is going to be moved to Sunday because there's like Holden Town Soccer as a night at the Revolution game or something. So I'm going to Gillette, get to see the free Karen Reed billboard. That's going to be cool. But yeah, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because you never know when we're going to do an impromptu live like I just did on my way home to announce that I was going to be late for tonight's show. So that's why you need to hit that notification bell. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Aidan, or you can call me Clarence. Old school turtle riders call me Uncle Turtleboy. Newer ones, I prefer Doctor, really. I mean, everyone should really call me Doctor. I do like that. Or, some people, the ladies these days, some of them are calling me Daddy, and that's okay too. I don't mind that. So you can call me any of the above. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night, and we'll be good. Now, if you guys like the program and you want to donate to what we're doing, you can click the link at the top to something called Turtle Chat. You can donate whatever amount of money you want, and you get to write a little message. I will get an email with your message, and I will read your messages out loud to the class. You can also cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy and do the same. Now, have we gotten any tonight? We have gotten a few. Now, let me just get my web guy sent me instructions about how I can read these. Give me 1 second, because it wasn't working the other day. So I'm just gonna give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. All right, go to that. Hold on. I gotta read. There's a way for me to see this. Give me 1 sec. Be right with you guys. I just don't want to screw this up. The last show was screwed up. So we're gonna go to donations. Let's see. By the way, good crowd tonight. Oh, we already got 2,600 people tonight. Is the Rumble working? Are the Rumble rats out there? I haven't checked. I haven't had time. I'm kind of in a rush. I got back, like as soon as I got back, boom, streaming. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Go to donations. Comments. There it is. Okay. Go to donations. And then what did you just do? Sorry, 1 sec. Donations. Okay. All right. So let me see if I get it. We got one here from Bad Santa. Let's see. Bad Santa sent $10, and his comment was, what the hell's Bad Santa's comment? Where do we read the message? Hold on. Did Bad Santa write a message? Bad Santa is Gary Titus. Look at Facebook or check your texts for proof. Creepy motherfucker. So Gary Titus. We're going to talk about Bad Santa tonight. So thank you for that one. He was a naughty Santa. What else do we got here? Another turtle chat we have here. Hold on. I got a bunch of these. I just got to bang through. What's today? The 26th? All right. Here's one from SH Mem. Sends $20 and says, fucking random citizens unite. I like that one. I met a lot of fucking random citizens tonight, and they certainly were united. So thank you very much, fucking random citizens unite, for that one. Next up, we have here from Semolina, sends $25, and the message that Semolina sends is, nice appearance tonight. I enjoyed the selfies. One question I had is that I read earlier on Facebook that the Dateline crew was at the meeting. Was that true? Now, that was completely made up. I don't know why people just make shit up like that. But no, there was no Dateline there tonight. Although they should have come. It was a good freaking time to come. So, all right. Brittany sends $15 and says, another submission for evidence madness. If the answer to how long to die in cold is about 2 hours, then how is John still alive for more than 5 hours after allegedly being left to die out in the cold? That's a good question. I feel like the fact that John was still alive after that, when they found him, is all the evidence you need to know that Karen Reed did not strike him. Because if he was there from 12:30 on, he would have been dead as a doorknob. But he wasn't. He was still alive. So it's a very good point. Turtle Girl sends $5 and says, I don't think she wrote a message, but thank you for the donation, Turtle Girl, for $5. Appreciate that. Next up, we got, sorry, I'm like doing a different system here. I ain't even able to read them. Where'd they go? Bad Santa. Oh, nice. Bad Santa sends me $10 and says their message is Bad Santa. Oh, wait, no, I already got that one. That Gary Titus. We'll talk about him tonight. What else do we got here? Next up, we have KC sends $5, and their comment is, I love you more and more each day for what you do. I'm glad you didn't give up when you were going through some BS. Well, that means a lot to me, because I'll tell you one thing. I really did almost a couple of years ago. Not give up, but like I fucking hated, like, if you're new here, it's like I had a really bad situation a couple of years ago, mental health wise, and I took some time off, and but I'm glad I did, because it gave me some perspective. So thank you very much for that one, Casey. Shannon sends $25 with the message, will you marry me? Just once is enough, man. I'm good. All set. But I appreciate, it's very flattering. I appreciate that, though. Mary Mason sends, let's see, $10. I think it's $10, and says, following from Kansas, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Rock Chalk. Didn't they get bounced from the tournament I know they won the Natty the year before, and like they're a final. They're obviously a blue blood. I used to like the Jayhawks. They're okay. All right. Brittany sends $10 and says, you killed it tonight. Thank you for your commitment to the truth. The guy who said, let it play out, doesn't understand this is more than free Karen Reed. Let's find justice for John. Absolutely about that. And we're going to talk about him. I feel like we can win that guy over. I feel like, because he was a turtle rider, he liked the blog. So I feel like that's the kind of guy that we can win over. Was that Brittany that just sent that? Yeah. And then last one here, I'll read from the turtle chat, and then I'll come back to these if you keep sending them. And let's see, that would be Rob D sends $20, and his comment is no comment. Okay, he left no comment, but thank you, Rob D, for the dono. I appreciate that. I lied one more of the turtle chats here, and then we'll get to the cash apps, and then we'll get started talking about the content here. That would be Courtney sends $25, and Courtney says, old dude gave serious Jack Nicholson, here's Johnny vibes. Keep up the great reporting, Turtle Boy. You're killing it. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cash apps. We got a couple cash apps to bang out here. First up, we got, and Chris Albert asked me, he's like, where'd you get your money for your car? It's like people always ask me that. They're like, is the defense paying you this and that? I'm like, do you guys watch the show? Like, the donos have been flowing nicely lately. Like, it's like, I don't need to get paid by the defense. Are you not noticing the traffic the website is getting? Like, I'm doing okay. It's called, being American. It's like the entrepreneurial spirit. You build something and people enjoy it, and then they give you money for it. It's a cool thing. Like, I don't know what else to say to you. All right. We have here, Paul sends $20 and says, gas money, excellent effort tonight. Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate that. Jim Ferris Bueller sends $10 and says, look like Whitey Bulger wanted to whack daddy. I think, yeah, he definitely didn't like me. Rich R sends 25 and says, great job tonight, Turtle. Appreciate that, Rich R. Wade Stevens says, thank you to DCF for giving Hunter a good mother. Yeah, I'm glad someone could raise Wade and Hunter. Melissa sends $20 and says, just because your voice is needed, we need you. Well, I need you too, Melissa. I appreciate that. Jill Daniels' dog sends $10 and says, I'm looking for a new home. Please help. Oh, Suzanne says $25 and says, Bad Santa is Peter Hennessy. He spoke on 8-8. I'm hearing different names here. We're going to have to figure this one out. 7 Pounder says $10, sends $10 and says, how many discoveries can you bench? Looking buff. Well, thank you, 7 Pounder, for that comment. Oh, I'm getting a call back. Is this Chris Albert? It's coming from Canton. Hold on. Live to tape. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hi, you were live to tape.
I just found this phone in a restaurant, and your name was in the text message history.
You did?
Whose phone is this?
This is Turtleboy.
Well, could you help me get it back to them?
Wait a minute. Oh, you found this phone?
Okay, cool.
What?
I'm free all day. I can meet anywhere.
Wait, is this an automated thing? Is this an?
Hear me out. Also, I should get $50 for giving it back.
Okay.
$50 is definitely fair.
Oh, it's a troll call. Okay, gotcha. That's Chris Albert's number. So, all right, so look at Chris Albert had his phone on the table during the meeting, and I got an idea. And I'm like, wait a minute, let's call Chris Albert. So I got his number, and I called him during the meeting, and then I texted him, and I'm like, oh, please answer, please. If you saw me on the phone, I was calling Chris. He must have had his phone on silent, which I was shocked by. And so he didn't pick up, but it also gave me an idea. It gave me an idea because I remember this happened in the Boston School Committee a couple of years ago. It's a free speech issue. If any of those guys if any member of the Board of Selectmen sends a text message during a meeting, you can request all their texts. So tomorrow I'm going to be filing a public records request for all of Chris Albert's phone messages during Board of Selectmen meetings. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. So there we go. It is because that happened to the Boston School Committee a couple of years ago. I did a story on it, actually. These two racist women on the school committee were texting each other back and forth, and the Boston Herald wanted to see what they were saying. So they filed a public records request, and they were saying all this racist shit about white people from West Roxbury. They called them the Westy Whiteys. I don't know if you guys remember that story. If you search it, they got it all through a records request. Like, it was crazy. If they text message, even on their personal device during a meeting, that is public records. So we're going to be doing that. I'm like, oh, it just kind of came to me. We got to do that. We got to do that. So anyway, couple more cash apps here before we get started. No, that's it. No, Kevin MC sends $25 and says, for an apartment in Canton, keep bringing that smoke. That's the plan. So if anyone else wants to donate, you click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. You can donate whatever you want and write a message. I'll read it out loud to the class, or cash at me at $Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. No, actually, it does. It doesn't apply, Adam. If they are using their phone during a Board of Selectmen meeting, and that's how they got these school committee people in Boston. It was their private phones, but it didn't matter. If you're using them during a meeting, you're using them in the capacity as an elected official, and those become public record. So we'll see. We have 3,400 people here. Holy crap. 35. Wow. All right. So let's get started on this, folks. So before we talk about the meeting, can we just talk about what the hell's going on with Jen McCabe and Kerry Roberts' cars real quick? If you guys missed this, yesterday we were alerted that a white Jeep was parked outside of 6 Wentworth Road. That is the home of Michael Proctor, corrupt Michael Proctor, and his horrible, just deplorable wife, just the worst person, Lizzie Proctor. And there it is right there. And, this stupid moron, it's like she parks it right where everyone could see. It's like you couldn't park across the street somewhere and just walk over, or you couldn't just walk. She lives like less than a quarter mile away. Is she that lazy? It's not that cold yet. I mean, Jen, you're not like you don't look, you're not fat, obviously. Like, you can walk. Come on. There you go. But as you can see there with the specialty plate H500, that car's registered to Matt McCabe. And so we ran the plates because I wanted to make sure that those are the Proctors cars in the driveway. And I ran this car. That's Michael Proctor's. It came back to him. And then this one came back to Lizzie Proctor. So that's undeniable evidence. It puts Jen McCabe in the house with both of the Proctors, who, of course, Adam Lowley says they don't know each other.
If I could just speak briefly as it pertains to Trooper Proctor, there is no conflict. Trooper Proctor is not conflicted in this case. I indicated that specifically in some of the oppositions that were filed to Rule 17. So there's been some photograph taken from a social media site, which is reported to be Trooper Proctor with one of the McCabe's children who are a witness in the case. The child that's depicted in that particular photograph is not one of the McCabe's children. The McCabe's have 4 daughters. That's not one of them. It's a relative of Trooper Proctor, It has nothing to do with the McCabe's and nothing to do with this case.
Nothing. Oh yeah.
Whatever conflict counsel believes Trooper Proctor has just doesn't exist.
Doesn't
Now,
exist.
As far as
So they don't know each other. This is what Michael Morrissey said about him. In addition to having no opportunity to plant evidence. Absurd. But of course, but when he said this last month, he knew that they were changing the time up, which actually gave him the opportunity to plant the evidence. Okay, whatever. So I guess he does have the opportunity now. Anyway, goes on to say that Trooper Proctor would have no motive to do so. He had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation, except quite the opposite, like as we've seen a million times. And now we have it. Now we have Jen McCabe, because all we had with the McCabes and the Proctors was that picture of the two McCabe girls in the background picture of Michael Proctor with his niece. And they said, well, that's his niece. Well, it's the McCabe free-range feral children in the background, but okay. Now we have Jen McCabe in the same house as them, visiting them at dinner time, like 6 o'clock. And then we find out, of course, right? We find out today that another car was there. And somebody else took this picture at 7:30, I'm told. And some people have disputed whether or not this is their street. The witness claims that it is. They're certain. And when I see the fence lines up, there's a couple things that are like slightly different, but I can't tell if it's a depth perception thing or what. But either way, the witness claims that this is it. And that is supposedly Lizzie Proctor, right? Coming out and talking to whoever's driving this car. The person that took this picture got all nervous, I guess, and didn't, when they get, like, obviously you can't see the plate on there, but when they got closer, instead of, taking their camera out and taking a picture, Lizzie doesn't like that. They just looked at the plate, remembered the 6 things on it. And I know, so when the source, and this is how I know it's legit. So when the source messaged me, they said, here's the license plate for that car that was outside the house. And I ran the license plate and I got a name. And I didn't tell them who it was. And I go, who do you think it was? And they go, we think it was the Galvins, Denise and Bob Galvin. Nope. And then their second guess was somebody else. Nope. That's Kerry Roberts' car. That car is registered to Kerry. It was actually registered to her husband, Kurt, but whatever, same household. So, and we can assume that Kurt has nothing to do with this. Kurt hates his life. He hates his wife, drinks a lot. They smack each other around. Pretty unstable household altogether. But I knew it was legit because at first I was worried that somebody was just trying to, they fed me a license plate number, right? And it comes back to Kerry Roberts. Okay, but how do I know somebody's just trying not to, screw over Kerry Roberts? I don't want to report misinformation here. It's like, no, they had no idea it belonged to Kerry Roberts. They thought it belonged to someone else. They were actually shocked when they heard it was Kerry Roberts, because, Kerry Roberts, let's not forget, at no point have I ever accused Kerry Roberts of being complicit in the murder of John O'Keefe. She wasn't there that night, period. Kerry Roberts is just arguably the dumbest person involved in this whole thing. She's up there with Carl Dougal. She's a sad puppy dog that just wants to be liked around Canton. Canton is her life. And just a really, really stupid person. And I'm sure when John was alive, he was very annoyed by Kerry and her dumpy self. And, she's just a useful idiot. That's all Kerry Roberts really is. When she went along for that ride, when she was the driver, and this is the car that Karen Reed was in when she found John O'Keefe's body. She's sitting in the back of that car. So she's along for the ride. Or she's driving rather. And, I feel like she just would say whatever Jen said. I don't think that Kerry Roberts was necessarily and she might have actually believed their bullshit. But I think she's starting to question it now. I think a lot of them are even starting to question it. I think Paul O'Keefe's questioning it. I think they're too proud and stubborn to ever come around because it's embarrassing. It's fucking humiliating. If they actually believe that she did this and then suddenly it just hits them oh shit, How do you ever come back from that? That's humiliating. And I think the bigger picture here is, why are they going to the Proctor's house? Not only do they not supposedly know each other, are their phones broken? Like, why don't they just call? Like, it's dinner time, 7:30. They have 2 little kids. Aren't they putting the kids to bed and giving them food? Is it we getting static? I'll move it away. Hopefully the static's gone. So they're there, and it's like, it's intrusive. So it must be important, whatever they're doing. And why not talk on the phone? Because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, and I have no evidence of this whatsoever. This is just my educated guess on this. I think their phones are tapped, or that they think their phones are tapped, especially the Proctors. And the fact that at least Jen got allowed in the house, Kerry's not even allowed in the house. So I think what happened was I think somebody was visited by the FBI, whatever. And maybe a text was sent saying, hey, what's up with this? And then no phones. Like, I watched The Wire. I know how this stuff works. It's like, never on the phone. Never on a phone. You're supposed to meet under a bridge somewhere. Like, Stringer Bell would break your fingers if you did that. So they got to meet in person, right? Because think about it. All this planning that they had was all electronic, all on phones. So now they realize the feds are literally watching us, and I'm telling you, something happened to make Jen McCabe go to their house. That's not and of course, Turtle Riders are on it. I hope Jen and them realize there's no hiding in Canton. It's my town. I'm the mayor of Canton. No shenanigans are going to go on anymore. If you have meetings together, we're going to find out about it. Go to Randolph. Go somewhere else. You can't stay in Canton with your shenanigans. It's over. It's officially over. So, I just think that something's happening. I have no evidence of that, but it's just odd. Now, what's Kerry doing there? Now, I think that they're like, the fact that Kerry wasn't even allowed in the house and Jen was, I think they're sick of Kerry. I think they're just looking like Kerry is just a useful idiot that they needed to go along with their lie, because she was one of the, she was essential for this. Having Kerry be on their side, because she was the other person in the car with Karen and Jen. She's the other person. She has the ability to swing this. And so Jen is manipulative. The second that she arrived at that scene, I'm sure she was, trying to, who do you think Jen was crying? We haven't seen the tapes or anything yet. You think Jen was crying at that scene? I doubt it. I'm sure Jen was completely in control. She was in control enough to Google at 6:23 again, how long to die on cold. She was in control to call her sister twice at 6:07 and 6:08. She was in control enough to delete a screenshot that contained Brian Albert's phone number on it. So she was composed at the scene of a dead body. And she was taking advantage of the fact that, Karen was going through trauma, I'm sure. So, I mean, this is just evil shit. And they're so cocky. And it's just like, at first, when I first found out about the story, part of me felt bad for them because I didn't know the players yet. And I'm like, because I'm a family man myself. So I see, anytime parents are separated from kids, it's a tragedy when that happens. And so, I see this and I'm like, oh man, Jen McCabe's going to jail. And that's a tragedy because she has kids, and she don't get me wrong. She deserves it, but it's still a tragedy, when families are destroyed in this whole thing. And that's a tragedy. And then I got to know the Alberts and the McCabes, and now I don't feel bad for them at all. I hope they have pain, suffering, emotional damage for a long time, because they deserve it. They're bad people. They're cocky. They're so cocky. Jen McCabe, when in that TikTok video, when she's in her driveway, just being so cocky and arrogant, it just offends me. And Chris Albert tonight, oh boy. So let's talk about what happened at the Board of Select meeting tonight. So I get there. You guys might have seen the pictures. If you haven't yet, maybe I can pull some up on my Facebook machine here. And we're getting 5 million messages right now. Sorry, I can't read them all. But don't message because it'll pop up. So I'm going to show you guys. I posted a couple pictures here if you haven't seen it from the meeting. So I go to the Board of Select meeting. I didn't announce I was going there. I did not announce I was going there. Man, we got 4,000 people in here. That's dope, man. I love it. Chicken Bomb Charlie, mailman. All right. Oh, yeah. I stood. I'm like, let's see how close I can get to him. I stood there. The whole time with a sign, and I just kept changing my signs out. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, none of these people are, I'm like, nobody's going to tell me to move. And they knew I was there. And like, okay, here's another one. Just like, look at this shit. This one just says, like, I'm holding a sign directly next to Chris Albert that says, Chris Albert killed a man. Like, I'm just standing there. It's just so awkward. And nobody is going to tell me to move. Like, none of them looked at me. This guy right here, McCourt, he kept looking at me. And every time McCourt would look at me, I would just point to Chicken Palm Charlie. I'm like, him. He killed a man. He literally killed a man. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that this guy's a selectman in your town. Like, that's wild. I gave him the Canton salute. There he is. First of all, this is me arriving at the scene. Watch this. You haven't seen this.
There's Chicken Palm Charlie.
Watch this. Knock, knock. Watch this. Here it is. Chicken Palm.
It's a full house in there.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness.
That was that was great. I loved it. You know, as soon as I got there, he's just like, fuck. You know, he couldn't think about anything else. Meanwhile, the crowd was awesome. Like, so if you guys missed it, the Board of Selectmen banned people in Canton from talking at meetings. It's a First Amendment violation. You can't ban, you can set limits on how long they can talk and have like, because obviously you can't have people go up for like an hour and deliver the Gettysburg Address, but you can't ban them from talking. It's just going to make them want to talk more. And I don't know what why they thought this would be a good idea. Like, oh yeah, this will shut them up. We'll just tell them they can't talk. There's a lot of that going around, isn't there? Michael Morrissey did that. It's like, have they not studied any history ever? Like, when you tell people they can't talk, it just makes them want to talk more. Like that guy in Tiananmen Square stood in front of a goddamn tank. Like, hello, people don't like being told that they can't have free speech. And so the crowd came. A lot of people came. People were covering their mouths off. Like a couple people here. This woman's got the blue tape on her mouth. Everyone's holding signs. It was packed, man. You couldn't even get in there at first. Like, it was so packed. And I don't know who said Dateline was there, but Dateline was definitely not there. There was a couple other images. I gave him the Canton salute. I mean, I know it's rude, but come on. And by the way, Chicken Palm Charlie's like, who does he think he's fooling with this notepad thing? Like, dude, the notepad was empty. Like, it's just, I kept looking over it. Like, he brings a notebook and a pen with the extra coffee. It's like, dude, do you even like coffee, or do you just like, why don't you just eat a bag of sugar or something? The notepad, just the empty notepad was just, it's like poetry of Chris's life. There's nothing on it. And the whole, I'm just thinking the whole time, I'm in his mind the whole time. He sees me standing next to him. Every time he kept trying to like smile and be like, oh, I don't care. I'm in control. This is funny to me. You're a joke. He can't like this, or maybe he does. A lot of these people are like a glutton for punishment. But anyway, so the agenda is what it is. Like, they just bored you to death, and they let everybody came up and talk. And then at the end, finally, I spoke up, and I'm like, when do the commoners get to talk? And Tom Theodore, the chairman, looks at me. He's just like, he starts conversing with me. He's like, there will be no public input. And I'm like, well, why not? I'm like, what are these microphones here for? Are they decorative? Like, why did they put the microphones up? If people can't speak into the microphones, then why are they there to begin with? I don't know. So anyway, they adjourned the meeting because I was asking too many questions. And maybe did I know the Young Jerks? I assume it looks like they were streaming it. Let me see if I can find. You guys watch that? Let me see. 4,000 people. Nice. Somebody get a screenshot of the count here. That's a new record, I believe. 4,000 live. Sweet. So I'm gonna go over the Young Jerks feed here. Did they not put me on TV? I mean, I every time I look up at the camera, it seemed like they were trying so hard not to put me on TV, and that's fine because it's not about me.
The committees that have either been formally appointed to or an administrative support for.
So let me see. I mean, just look at this. I mean, how do they look at this room and think like, oh, this is fine. This is normal. This is okay. This is like a small town in Massachusetts. And it's turned into open revolt. There's people taping their mouths up saying we will be heard. And this dude back here, we're going to talk about him, was like grilling me the whole time, staring at me. Yikes. So I'm going to jump to the end when this ends.
To commence right away. Canton Cultural.
Oh, so there, it's just like, sorry, there it is.
Next, Mr. Chair, we have the Select Board Committee assignments, and again, I will defer to Mr. Duke.
Oh, the committee assignments.
So,
Traffic committee.
Committees that are operating now, and about 7 of those committees actually require Select Board representation. So we're still trying to reach out to the committee chairs to find out if they.
Yeah, things are fine.
About what assignments you would.
Yeah, things are fine.
Thank you, Mr.
Dewey.
$775.
Oh, there it is. Look at this. Like, this is iconic. He's just sitting there.
Next, Mr. Chair, we have the vendor warrant total for the week of 9/15.
How did they not make me leave? How did they not make me leave?
That the board approve the minutes from the Select Board meeting.
Chris Albert killed a man. Like, what? That's wild.
They received a form.
Okay, let's see how it ends. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Here's the end.
That's it.
Here we go. This is it.
I'm sorry. After that, well, we're not sure about what we're doing with that. We have a meeting on, not a meeting, office hours on Tuesday. Just remind people from 6 to 8 it will be held here, and then we'll.
Office hours. Talk about office hours. I don't want to go to your office.
We're not silencing everything. We're not.
We're not silent. We're not silencing. He says.
So I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Like, I can't wait. Cowards.
He's a bully woman that talk to him on the street. They call them whores and losers, but he can't face them here. Chris Albert, you're a murderer.
You're a murderer. Oh, did they cut it off at the swear? You're a fucking murderer, Chris. That's
You're
awesome.
a murderer. You're a fucking.
Whoa. Hold on. Watch this. Here it is. Oh, that's where he's shoving me out. Oh. Whoa. Look at this. Okay. Look at this. This is like, what's John Connolly thinking? What is John Connolly thinking as he waddles his fat ass out the door like this is normal? This is not normal. This is not normal. This is not how a small town board of selectmen should go on a Tuesday night. There shouldn't be some guy from Worcester holding a sign that says Chris Albert murdered a man, and then Chris Albert slams the door in that guy's face. He's an award-winning journalist, wearing a shirt that says Chicken Parm Charlie on it. None of this is normal. This is not how a town is supposed to function. Get it together. This is like, okay, Chris Albert is what he is, all right? But the other 4 boobs and Charlie Duty, whose daughter was also in the house the night that John O'Keefe was killed. We don't point that out enough. And he was in charge of the fire department. And one of his firefighters named Katie McLaughlin lied and told, maybe Michael Proctor lied. Who knows? One of them lied because she is on record as saying that Karen Reed said, I hit him, which is a complete lie. So either, and so he's in charge of the fire department. So he's got a whole bunch of ties to the house, but not one of these useless boobs, Theodore McCourt, Lucky Laughlin's brother, or Laughlin's brother, or John Connolly, or Duty. Not one of them can stand up and be like, Chris, you should resign. Like, how hard is that? When Kendra Lara crashed into a elderly woman's house going 53 miles an hour, I was disappointed that not many Boston city councilors stood up and said, Chris, you should resign. But like, I think 1 or 2 did. And that's something. Like, how hard is it to, like, you can't make him resign, but it would be symbolic if someone else on the board of selectmen was like, you know what, Chris, for the good of the town, maybe you should just step down. Like, who cares? Like, why do you want to, you obviously don't like this. Who cares? Just, this is turning into a circus. We can't do the business of the town anymore. Like, we can't get any work done because you're the draw here. They're here because of you. So can you just, for the good of the town, maybe step down? Like, who cares? You make like what's it? Do they even get a stipend? I don't know. You can't be doing this for the money. So why not just step down? Like, how hard is that? When Al Franken was like, the senator from Minnesota was seen like, well, grabbing a woman's Gerber servers for comedy from like 15 years ago. Like, there were Democrats that were like, you should step down, Al Franken. And he did. He did. It's just like, you can do it. It's not unheard of. Like, it's just kind of how politics works. It's just like, yeah, Chris, yeah, you're my pal. We're buddies. We go way back, but it's just politics. So I have to make a statement asking you to resign. I'll see you at the barbecue. It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. So now we're going to watch it from my point of view. For what happened in the hallway that night. So let's check it out. If you guys haven't seen this, I uploaded these on the way home. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Look at this, dude. Look at that smile. This cocky motherfucker. Oh, he's such a noob. He's such a noob. What are you smiling about, Chris? Seriously, what are you smiling? What'd you bring a notepad for? Go ahead, on your forehead, Joe. Whatever fucking time you're on your forehead. Is democracy dead in Canton? Have you guys banned is the First Amendment officially suspended in this town? Chris. Whoa, what's this violence? What's this? Look at him. He runs and gets a cop. A question. I can't ask an elected official a question. Chris, when are you going to resign from the Board of Selectmen, Chris?
We have it on tape. Chris.
There was some sort of altercation there between the Canton TV guy and some other local idiot who they were like, he was pushing the camera. I don't know what. I'm sure I'll get the full story on that later. But I mean, this is wild that this is happening, and so we keep talking to him on the way up.
Chris, we have it on tape. You murderer.
Don't you think you should resign, Chris?
This is normal.
It's kind of ironic that you're on the traffic subcommittee, but you killed a man. Isn't that just a little bit ironic, Chris? Chris, what time did your son Colin leave 34 Fairview Road on the morning of January 29, 2022? Who picked him up? Who called Alec McCabe to pick up Colin that night, Chris? Who called Alec McCabe to pick up Colin? Was it you? Whose Ford Edge was that parked that Lucky Laughlin saw at 3 in the morning, Chris?
You're not driving tonight. What? I know all about you.
Chris, Oh, wait. Do you
Like, so that's to Richie, the camera guy. And it's like they keep making these vague threats. I hope you're not driving tonight. I know all about you. Like, so even though he's on camera, he's still making threats to Richie. Like, what are you gonna do? Is Kevin gonna pull him over for something, Chris? Is that what is it? You're threatening my camera guy? He goes, I know all about you. What do you know about him, Chris? What do you know? And it's weird because Jim Ferris said the same thing to him the other day when we were at Canton Pizza. It's like, and this is what they do because they know they can't scare me. And so you're going to go after my camera guy? Really? I mean, these guys, and he does it on camera. He knows people are like watching this happen and he still says it. Like, this is cocky, arrogant motherfucker who needed to be walked to his car by an undercover cop. I think that's what this is, an undercover cop. Chris needed an escort because he's a little boo-boo baby bitch. He needed to be walked to his car from Big Bad Uncle Turtleboy. Daddy's in town, so he needed his security with him.
License, Chris? Do you get to keep your license after killing a man?
You're gonna walk me in my car, right?
Do you?
You're gonna walk me to my car, right?
You need an escort, Chris? I'm not gonna hurt you, Chris. I just want to ask you a few questions. Come on.
You got me, you're brand innocent people for murdering.
Chris, are you at all worried about your son going to jail? Are you? What about your brother? Are you worried about Brian going to jail for killing Boston police officer John O'Keefe for their role in murdering Boston police officer John O'Keefe? Do you think that's funny, Chris? Chris, how do you afford a car if you owe $60,000 in taxes? How'd you pay for this car, Chris?
Chris,
you pay for yours?
What was that?
How'd you pay for yours?
Like, look at this.
You know, with money. I mean, what?
Look at this. How did you pay for yours? First of all, Chris, with income, my guy have an income. I own a business. It's doing pretty well. In case you haven't seen, because of you, largely because you're such a scumbag. So thank you for that. But you know, how does this guy live life? Like, dude, he owes over $60,000 in tax liens. I have his freaking tax liens pulled up somewhere here. You want to see him? Oh, let's check this out, Chris. The latest tax liens that went up. Let's see how much money Chris Albert owes the government right now. Actually, let's go check out his tax liens. You're like, I don't run a welfare pizza shop, Chris. Like, people buy, you have a pity pizza shop. That's what you have, a pity pizza shop. So here's the latest, and I don't understand how a lot of this shit works because I pay tax. I pay my taxes, so I can't relate to this issue. This is a notice of a tax lien from the Norfolk Registry of Deeds. So he owed $2,897 as of in personal income taxes. His meals tax, he owes thousands of dollars more. Long story short, he owes $24,057 to the government in 43 cents. So that's what Chris owes. So somehow you can just have all this debt and just not pay your taxes and then just live life like it's normal. Like, you just go on, like, you can just do that. Again, Chris, you had to move out. Remember, you had to move out of Meadows Ave, Chris, because you're poor. Okay. And oh, by the way, is this Chris? Julie also owes money, right? Julie also owes a shitload of, this is actually for Julie Albert. She owes $3,000 almost. So 28 grand, the whole family owns, and they're in charge of how many $1 million budget this guy's in charge of. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke that this idiot is in charge of the town, and none of the other idiots in charge of the town step up to the plate and say, you know what, this isn't normal. We can't, this is bad for the town of Canton. And like, let's just bury our heads in the sand and pretend like things are okay. And this turtle man, and guess what? I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back. That's not going to be my last time at a Canton Board of Select meeting. Like, go, like, search me, man. Search Turtleboy Tony Branch. He was a big story I did last year, I feel like. Tony Branch sued me, and so I looked into him. He's some idiot I wrote about like 6 years ago. Or he was written about on my website. I didn't even write about him. 6 years ago. He's from Proctor, and then he's on this Southeastern Regional High School Committee in, I think, Easton. So I found out after he sued me, I researched him some more, and he's a pedophile. Like he had sex with a 15-year-old girl who he later married and impregnated. And I started talking to her, nice woman, Evelyn, and we went and we got, I would go to every meeting holding a sign that said, resign, Tony Branch, you're a pedophile. And the board, like parents spoke up at the meetings and were like, I do not want that man on the school committee at the graduation. I will keep my kids home. They will not shake his hand. And the board voted like 7-3 to ban him from his graduation. And so like I went to like 5 of those school committee meetings in a row in Easton. I'll be back. I have a good time doing this. It's not no sweat off my back. I love doing stuff like this. I love mixing it up with assholes. It's kind of my thing. So yeah, let's watch some more of this.
That Chris, you did kill the man, right?
You're gonna kill me? You're gonna kill me?
There we go. Shame. Shameful man right there. Chris Albert killed a man, a Hungarian foreign exchange student. He was drunk driving. He rear-ended somebody on the highway, and he kept going. And now he has the nerve to accuse Karen Reed, a completely innocent woman of murder. Do you feel at all sad about that, Chris? Do you feel all sad about that? Chris, why'd you bring a notebook if you didn't take any notes? Chris, why'd you do that?
Look at the cross.
I'm gonna wait until he answers the
You really have a cross? You have a crucifix? How are you gonna have a crucifix if you're going to hell? How are you gonna have a crucifix if you're going to hell? Chris, you've hit enough people with your car. You've hit enough people with your car, Chris, okay? Take it easy, Chris. Yep. Take it easy, Chris.
I don't want to get hurt either.
Shameful. 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 Shame on you, Chris. You're a disgrace. Excuse me, old man.
Shame on you.
Don't fucking touch me, old man.
Like this guy.
Son.
This guy.
Fucking touch me again.
Don't touch me. That's my one rule. Don't touch me.
Shameful. Seriously, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You here to enable murderers? You're staring at me the whole time. You want to make out with me or something? What are you looking at me for, sir? Who are you? Who are you related to? Who are you, Grandpa? Are you here to defend the honor of murderers, sir? What, do you? I mean, you're staring at me. You got anything to say? Who are you? What's your name? What's your name, sir? What's your name, Grandpa?
How creepy is this guy?
Come on, Santa Claus. I mean, you were staring at me the whole time.
This guy's so creepy.
You're staring at me the whole time, sir. Who are you exactly? Who are you and who are you here to defend? You here to defend the Alberts, sir? Is that who you're here to defend? Chris Albert, Colin Albert, Brian Albert, Jennifer McCabe. Why did Jennifer McCabe Google how long to die in cold at 2:27 in the morning? Why did she do that? Do you think it's okay what they did to John O'Keefe? Are you okay with that? Who are you? I mean, that's like, we're going to find out.
I found out his
right?
name.
Like, you're pushing me. What are you doing, sir? You think you scare me, buddy? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. So who are you? You're not Bernie Albert, right? You're way too put together to be Bernie Albert. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you here to defend? I mean, you're staring at me the whole time, right?
I don't think you can talk.
Are you a mute, sir? Are you a mute? Who are you?
How are you not going to talk?
Do you often defend cop killers, sir? Do you often defend cop killers? Do you? Do you often defend cop killers?
I should tell you.
Fucking mouse. Fucking
so when
mouse.
you parked, I can walk you in your car. You need an escort like Chris did?
Why don't we step away, okay? Come on.
All right, hold on.
Oh, there he is.
Time out. I got a fucking mouse. Hold on. I'm gonna kill this mouse. Motherfucker.
Fucking mouse.
Fucking got away. All right, we're back. I saw a mouse. It started going down the wall. And I'm like, oh, I hate the mice. Anyway, so that's that whole video. It went into I got a pile of old shoes over there. It better not be nesting in it. Hate mice. Anyway, so that's that video. This guy tried to get big with me, and then he got escorted out by a cop too.
Bye, Grandpa. Have a fun bus ride home. Mute grandpa. Tough guy grandpa.
So anyway, grandpa's name is not Gary Titus. It is his name is Hennessy. Peter Hennessy. He is I heard he works on the campaign. I got his number. Let's just call him. Okay. So 781-828-3959. Let's see what Mute Grandpa's got to say.
Hello, we cannot take your call right now, but please leave a message after the beep. Thank you.
Hey, Grandpa Clips, how you doing? It's Turtleboy calling. I know we just met up at the Board of Selectmen meeting. Just wanted to know why you didn't talk to me. You came all that way to stare and try to make out with me. It was really awkward. Give me a call back when you get this. Maybe you and I can meet up for coffee and just kind of stare at each other for a bit, because I guess that's what you like to do. Just stare at random people and not talk at all. So yeah, give me a call back when you get this. Bye. All right. So anyway, so people are, because I apologize to, I didn't say it was Gary Titus. Somebody sent me a thing saying it was Gary Titus. It is not. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. People are like messaging me. Take back, it's Gary Titus. It's my kid's cousin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know. It's so it's definitely not Gary Titus. So that was bad information. Bad information. So his name is Peter Hennessy is the guy's name. Peter Hennessy. But okay. All right, so let's watch the second video. The second video is even better. Before we do that, let me just read a couple Dono, some turtle chats here, shall we? Let's read a couple turtle chats. I'm sure my phone's been blowing up, so I assume we got some turtle chats coming in. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay. All right. First up, we got, what was the last one we read? Oh man, we got a bunch here. The last one was from Courtney, I think. So Brian sends $5, and his message is, thanks for the plugs. Oh, this is Brian Hale, the photographer. Thanks for the plugs. I don't know how you deal with your Facebook blowing up on the daily 100 times more than mine is, but I just ignore the notifications. That's basically all. I can't, if I had notifications on, I would never get any work done. So appreciate that, Brian. Megan sends $50. Thank you very much, Megan. And by the way, Brian does fantastic photography. Check out his work on Brian Hale's Facebook page. He did some great work at the last court hearing. Dr. Uncle Mayor Turtleboy, thanks so much for being a voice to this case. Hope somebody has contacted Woody Harrelson to play you in the documentary. Well, documentaries don't have people play them. So, but really, you've gone above and beyond. I'll be playing myself in the documentary. And I'm sure I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be good. Let's just put it that way. Professionally done. But really, you've gone above and beyond. See you December 8th. No, it got moved. It got moved to January. What is it? January 6th. Somebody in the comments can fill us in on that. January, whatever. So appreciate that. All right. Next up, we got, let's see, I'm going to keep going back and forth here. Krusty Panties. Oh, nice. Krusty sent $10. And Krusty Panties' comment is, you need to stop pretending to be an award-winning journalist. I may not be a doctor, but I'm so totally college educated. Hence why I use a verbose vocabulary and refuse to call documentation docs or documents, because I'm so smart. I now represent the Alberts and the McCabes, who the habitual lying turtle tard slanders. I'm basically a legal expert, just like Chili DeCastro. So I know Karen will be found not guilty. Okay. So this goes on and on and on. I appreciate that, Krusty Panties. If you didn't, again, I hate even giving this idiot any sort of attention because she doesn't deserve it, and she won't be getting it on my platform, much as she would like that. She's a nobody. People were messaging me yesterday like, oh, did you see this video she put out? Nope. Won't be watching it because I already know what's on it. Let me guess. She took a bunch of my clips out of context and played them. Oh, yeah, shocking. She's never done that one before. And let me guess. So basically, nobody believes her anyway. Like nobody who matters. So why would I waste my time watching that or even responding to it? It's just, I don't. She lost 2 of her kids to the state, and she's currently facing criminal charges. She has a trial coming up on October 26th. But I will be at that hearing, just to be very clear. I will be at her trial on October 26th, simply because I want Covendaver. Covendaver is the one I'm interested in, because that's Covendaver's buddy in crime now, Jennifer Covendaver. And I'm going to ask her, after she's convicted of stalking, threatening, and harassing a friend of mine named Lauren Murray, I'm going to ask her, like, does Jennifer Covendaver know that you are a convicted criminal? You are the source of Jennifer Covendaver's information. Does she know that you are a convicted criminal? So these are taking a minute to load the turtle chats. So let me read a couple cash apps in the meantime, I guess. Actually, no, I just got them. Next one up is from Megan, sends $5, and her comment is, it was cool to be the lucky chosen caller on the Young Jerks last night. Thanks for taking my call. I didn't take your call. Mike did, and Mike does a great job. So definitely give his channel a sub if you haven't done so already. The Young Jerks with a U, not Jerks. Young Jerks. It's like a play on the Young Turks. Okay, next up we have Christina, sends $10, and Christina's comment is, maybe Kerry picked Jen up to go finish the conversation at the Proctor's house. Keep up the good work, Turtleboy. Thank you very much. Maybe Kerry picked Jen up. Or maybe Kerry just felt left out and was like, what do I do? Do I have to be worried about this? Can I be part of the conversation too? I'm special. And they're all just like, go away, Kerry. We've already used you for everything we need you for. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Rose sends $5. Rose's comment is, shout out to Nathan Reed for being such an amazing brother. P.S. You're a fraud, Nelson. That was great. I don't know what he was talking about there. He said, you're a fraud, Nelson. I don't know who Nelson is, but apparently he's a fraud. So there's that. Okay. Next up, if these can load, I'm trying to load the donations. I'm getting the pinwheel here. Are they coming in the email? Hold on. I'll just do it on a new tab. Sorry about this. I don't know why the emails aren't coming through on this. I got to get that fixed, amongst other things. Let me read a couple cash apps in the meantime. Our first cash app is from Joanne, sends $20 and says, gas money from Joanne in Naples, Florida, and Foxborough. Thank you very much, Joanne. Went by Foxborough today. Gene sends $25 and says, for having to smell the old man's breath. Yikes. No, he actually smelled not bad. Like, he didn't smell bad. Like, I was pleasantly surprised by the way he smelled. I gotta be honest, he didn't smell bad. The notorious NIP sends $5 and says, D&E is so dirty that Chris probably doesn't wash his prick. Oh, come on. Don't make me think about that. That's disgusting, but it's probably true. Next up is from the Frank K. The Frank K sends $20 and says, hashtag turtle ain't got no quit. No, he does not. No, he does not. Thank you very much. Next up, we have here, Heck Margot sends $5 and says, for making me laugh and being the realest 100 emoji. I thank you very much. I appreciate that, Heck Margot. On the turtle chat, this one is from, who we got this one from? Martin sends $5 and says, if you were emperor, Dr. Turtleboy, of Massachusetts, how would you prevent this from ever happening again? Most of the country hasn't made significant on police reform, unlike states like Colorado and Maryland and a few others. It's a good question, complicated question, but I suppose, I don't know. There's no easy way to do it with unions and whatnot, because you got to be fair to good police, right? That get harangued by, people that file bad faith complaints against them. Like there's two sides to every story. But I don't know what the solution is, but it's just like, how about if if you lie about not knowing people involved in a murder investigation, you don't get to keep investigating that murder. Like that would be a good first step. I feel like it's something that bipartisan people can agree on. Like, nope, can't have that. Like Michael Proctor, bad cop. Can't have Michael Proctor keep investigating murders. No. Absolutely not. Next up, we have Jay Norris where'd Jay Norris get $5 and says, a lally word salad, Inger, opine, exhaustive, okay. Bell sends $10 on the turtle chat and says, can we please let everyone know Tommy Galvin, Denise's son, is the Canton High School lacrosse coach. He's a wicked big douchebag in high school. He was also tight with Caitlin Albert in Spanish class. The town is sicker than I thought with the incest. Yes, he is. And that's the fact. The treasurer of the booster club is of Canton High School? Julie freaking Albert, who cannot pay her goddamn bills, is the treasurer of, she should not be allowed to touch money anywhere at all. Kathy McDonald sends 10 big ones, and her turtle chat is epic night in Canton. Go doctor. Thank you very much, Kathy. I appreciate that. Next up, we have, where'd it go? Bad Grandma sends $5. And their comment is, I apologize when I am wrong. John Como and Angela Chan O'Donnell said Bad Grandpa is not Gary Titus, and I trust them. Sorry, Graham. So thank you for apologizing, because I repeated that as well. So thank you very much. Okay, next up on the turtle chat here, we have Waltham Turtles sends $25. And their comment is, this donation is made on behalf of a Waltham neighborhood. Our hearts break for the Canton residents. My neighborhood planned a meeting with our ward counselor tonight. He gave us his undivided attention and answered every question we asked. We're so thankful to have him working for us. Shout out to Anthony LaFauci, a Waltham city councilor. Please vote for him in November. Good solidarity from Waltham. I love to see it. And before I forget, so I got to get a little deep here, real. So I was a little shook up. So it's weird when you have these relationships with people like you've been talking to for years on Facebook through what I do, and then they die. And like it's happened before, right? And I don't know these people, but I feel like I do know them because I talked to him so many times about Turtleboy. And so I found out, and this one really fucking sucks. And I'm thinking about writing a blog on tomorrow, but it's a tough one, man. So there was a woman, she lived up in Derry, New Hampshire. Her name is Alec Hall, right? And Alec, I have been talking to on Facebook Messenger for years, like Turtle Rider since like 2015, like has gotten t-shirts, like her kids all have them. And I remember when I was dealing with mental health issues a couple of years ago, right? She was one of many people who reached out and wrote this long thing that I read them all, the messages when I got them at the time. And it was just really thoughtful. And I revisited it today because I heard that she died and it was suicide. And then because she had a stillborn baby, like it was just fucking horrible, absolutely horrible. And I wish I knew that some, you know what I mean? That she was dealing with issues like that. She was having thoughts like that, like fucking horrible. And I never met this woman. And it's a weird feeling when you're like, I've never met you, in real life, but I've talked to you a million times before. And you're a nice person. And I had no fucking clue that you were going through this. And so, yeah, I feel like I should say something, because she was the biggest turtle rider, man. Like has been part of this for fucking years. And like I said, she has the last message that she sent me was in July, was of her kid in a Turtleboy shirt. And it's just like, fuck. So, I guess the message here is that, check in on people, man. Like it sucks. It's, and she was a regular on the show. Like it's fucking horrible, absolutely horrible. And I wish she had said something, to me or somebody, you can tell anybody, if you're ever feeling like that, because it's better than the alternative. You know what I mean? So, miss you, Alec, and I wish I got to meet you, but. And I'll probably write something about that tomorrow, because it's an epidemic, of mental health issues in this country. But all right, so back to these here. Scott sends, Jesus Christ, Scott sent $200, and he has no comment, but I appreciate that, Scott. Very generous of you, sir. Thank you very much for that dono there. That wasn't even a turtle chat. He just sent that right from the website. So thank you very much, Scott, my man. $200, not too shabby. Next up, we got two more here. Michael sends $27. His comment is, why did a 17-year-old need to call for a ride home when his dad told the investigating officers that he went to Brian's house after leaving the waterfall? Why did a 17-year-old need to call for a ride home when his dad told the investigating officer? He did say that in a police report. And that needs to be talked about more. Unless Chris didn't go directly there, there is no way he didn't beat John and Karen there. Then the investigating officers asked Chris what he saw when he was in the house. No, of course not. And the reason I haven't pursued that angle is because why wouldn't Chris give Colin a ride home? Right? Wouldn't that be like, why would Chris need a ride home? Why would Colin need a ride home from what's her face, Allie McCabe, if Chris was there? It makes no sense. Next one, this is from Erica Madden from the Star Drive-In, sends $25 and says, my favorite was when you tapped on the glass and just said hi. I was wondering if you were holding a sign. No, I couldn't. The room was packed, so I just tapped on the window. I'm like, hi, how you doing, Chris? What's up? He didn't seem happy to see me. As I was happy to see him. He did not seem happy to see me. Okay, and the last one here we have from Sarah, sends $5 and says, emailed you some interesting info on driving in reverse. Well, I will check that out. If anyone else wants to donate, they click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. You can write a message and I will read your message when I get it out loud to the class. Also, you can cash at me $, Uncle Turtleboy. We got a couple cash apps to read here. Christina sent $5 and says, let's call Jill. I'm good with Jill. We'll give Jill a break for now. Patricia sends $20. Says no comment, but thank you very much, Patricia. And Ashley sends $5 and says, for Grandpa, Eclipse is a skinwalker. So if anybody wants to donate on the cash app, they can do so that way. Okay. So yeah, Troll Homeo is tallying up those donos. I know he is. Shout out to Troll Homeo. Okay, so let's get back to the video, shall we? Let's go watch the video number 2. Here it is.
Are you a former cop? How do you feel about what they did to John O'Keefe? You okay with that? Seriously. You know he was alive when they put him out there at 3 a.m, right? How do you feel about that?
Jay, what message? I didn't get any
fellow
message.
Brothers in Blue, right? You're a retired cop.
Did you do a cash app or?
Because I know he's a retired cop. I saw him speak at the last meeting, so I assume you are too. How do you guys feel about that? A Boston police officer thrown out on the lawn. I mean, are you a cop too?
Say something.
A Boston police officer thrown out in the lawn like trash.
Good.
Who are you? Who are you?
I got just as much standing as you.
Oh, I missed a couple.
Nice to meet you.
I mean, how do you feel about what they did to John O'Keefe?
I know, but
No, do you know what there's no need for? You know what there's no need for? Throwing John O'Keefe on the lawn like trash.
If you're gonna
There's no need for that.
There's no need for that. Right.
That's fine. All right. I'm just letting the process play out.
Okay, so
what does that mean?
So this guy. So I talked to this guy. This is a really interesting conversation, and I think we should hear this guy out because he didn't seem all that bad. So let's listen to this guy.
The process is going fairly. Do you think the process is fair when Michael Proctor, who was close friends with the Alberts and McCabe?
You're asking me a question I don't know.
Maybe you should research it. It's kind of a big deal. I mean, you're here because you care, right?
I know, but
you're here because you care, right?
Why is he getting?
I mean, you're here with this tough guy. You're here with Santa
town.
Claus, right?
I care about my town.
Do you care about
but
that
why is he
there are
in his
murderers
face?
walking around your town right now?
Murderers.
Yes, murderers. People that murdered John O'Keefe. That would be up to Michael Proctor to decide, but I think everyone's best guess is Colin Albert, Brian Albert, and Jennifer
You're
McCabe.
the one who's telling me.
Okay, well, Jennifer
They-
McCabe Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 in the morning when she allegedly thought that John O'Keefe was at home in bed.
Well,
So she's one of them.
Then there really shouldn't be any problem.
Oh, but there is.
What's his problem? What's his problem?
And so this is what he kept saying, right? It's like, well, there shouldn't be any problem. Like, basically, I'm sick of hearing this from people about like, let's just let the system play this one. And I hope Paul is watching this, right? Because dude, do you think I would be this heavily into this if the system could be trusted? If I thought that, like, yeah, things will work out on its own. Yeah, we should just let the system play itself out. No, the system is the problem, dude. Pay attention. Are you paying attention yet? Because you need to. And I understand that this is a lot to take in and it's unbelievable. Like when you hear this, you're like, this can't be true, but it is. You need to pay attention to what's happening, Paul. Okay. As Paul tells me later on, he's followed the blog for quite some time. I've never led you astray. I would not lie to you, right? You followed the blog for a reason, right? Because I was honest and I said what I was thinking and I exposed bad people doing bad things. This is the most egregious bad thing I've ever seen. What's happening in Canton. And so if you trusted me with the small stuff, you got to trust me with the big stuff here. Because you don't even need to trust me. Just read about it. Just read about it. Open your eyes. I'm sick of hearing this from people about like, well, I don't know because I haven't read about it. Well, then fucking read it. Well, what the fuck's wrong with you? What's wrong? Like open your eyes. Like enough of this. I don't know what's going on. Well, learn about what's going on. Like, like how long are you going to play stupid for with this? Like, I don't know if you heard about this, but John O'Keefe was murdered in your town. And it seems like all these people kind of know Karen didn't do it. Like they're all like, like none of them are like, yeah, she did it. Like none of them are like defiant about it because they know she didn't, but they just don't want to come to grips with who did. All right. They don't want to come to grips with who did because they have to confront an ugly reality about the world that they live in. And just for him to keep going back to, let's just let the system play this out. It's like, no, dude, the system is the problem here. Like, and so we'll play some more.
But there is, you know why? Because the lead investigator is Michael Proctor, a close family friend of the Alberts and McCabes, who has literally never questioned 5 witnesses who were inside the house.
It's bigger than him.
It's bigger than who?
Yeah, it goes up all the way to the DA. You get the feds involved, everything.
Well, who are the feds investigating?
I'm not worried about it.
Who are the
I'm
feds
not worried
investigating?
about it.
You're not worried
What do you mean
about
you're
it.
not worried about it? What does
I'm
that
not
mean?
worried about it. I think the process is playing out.
You think the process is playing out fairly?
I don't know.
Like, I think the process is playing out. No, that's the whole point, dude. It's not playing out, Paul. The process is not playing out at all. Like the process is supposed to be person gets arrested, person gets charged. If evidence comes forward showing that that person did not do that, then the system is supposed to drop the charges against that person. But in this case, the opposite is happening. Copious amounts of evidence have come forward showing that Karen Reed did not do this. Everybody knows that. An equal amount of evidence has come forward showing that he was murdered inside that house, and it was subsequently covered up by the Massachusetts State Police and one rogue trooper in particular, aided by this thin blue code of silence in which nobody snitches on anyone. And then the district attorney's office itself, which has connections to the people who are involved in the murder. And that's a problem. Like, we can't just sit back and say, well, let's just let it play out. No, we won't, because we see that the system is the problem. We can to continue and lynch an innocent woman and just say, well, it's okay because I don't know her. No, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're not going to allow Karen Reed to be lynched. Today it's Karen Reed. Tomorrow it's somebody you know. We cannot allow this to happen. We must stand up to this.
Do you think it's right? Do you think there's a conflict of interest to have a close family friend be the lead investigator on a case in which you were inside the house when a body was dropped in the lawn?
Who are you? That's allowed to go on. I'd have to
Are
decide.
you law enforcement?
What?
Are you law enforcement?
kind of.
Okay, so if there's a body found on the front lawn, do you think the house should be searched?
Sure.
Look at this
Dude,
guy.
you're crowding other people. You know, what are you doing?
Look at this guy.
You figure out.
What? Are you,
I mean, you're a former
threatening me?
cop. I mean,
You threatening
is
me?
this how things worked back in the day? You rough people up?
Why?
Is this Bernie Albert?
My friend.
No,
No, it's not.
I don't.
This
I
is
think
not
it might
Bernie,
be.
is it? Is that Bernie?
That's not Bernie.
I don't think it
thought
is.
it was.
Bernie's more slovenly. This guy's a little,
Bernie's responsible for this beautiful legacy.
yeah, he's left quite a legacy. But seriously, you don't sound like a bad guy. But you should educate yourself on what
just
happened.
admit
Because it's absolutely awful what they're doing. You're seeing right
you
now
are.
a cover-up of a Boston police officer because the person whose house it happened at.
Do you have the balls
also
to tell
a
me
Boston
what your
police
name
officer.
is?
I think if it's as obvious as everybody's saying it is, then it'll play out that way.
What's your name?
But not if the lead detective
What's your name?
is a close family friend, the person who controls it all.
What's
And
your
that's
name?
the problem. Don't you think he should not be the lead detective? Like he should step aside and say
Jim White.
somebody else should lead this investigation besides me, since I've known
your
him my
name?
entire
Look
life.
at this guy.
Maybe, and he's a state.
Yeah, he's a state trooper.
Shit your pants or something.
And he, and he lives in
organ-
Canton.
No,
That's a big
you're a
organization.
shit.
So he get like this is his first time hearing this. And this is the problem. It's like he's hearing this for the first time, or maybe he's just playing stupid. I don't know. But it's just like, dude, you don't think that's a problem? Because he's being honest. He's being, no, that's not good. It's like, yeah, that's happening. And that's just like chapter 1 of everything that's wrong with this. Like, seriously, dude. Wake up. And meanwhile, Peter Hennessy there from 4 Sumner Street in Campton is being like the tough guy, staring people down. He keeps getting in my face like, dude, grandpa, who do you think you are, dude? Like, you know, I'm not going to knock you out, right? Obviously I could, but I'm not going to. Like, what do you think you're doing? What do you think you're trying to accomplish here? Oh, the static. Is the static near the phone? I'll get it away. I'll get it away. Let me know if the static goes away. So let's play some more.
I find it hard to believe that somebody else wouldn't
That's great.
have any kind
Jim
of
White is on our side.
I think that's a great point. But the problem is this is happening. There's dozens of state police detectives in this county that could be investigating this. They chose Michael Proctor, who lives up the road, who graduated from Canton High School. His sister graduated in the same year as Jill Daniels, the aunt of Colin Albert, who was inside the house the night that John O'Keefe was murdered and found on the lawn. Do you know that 11 people left that house? Supposedly there was a body on the front lawn and not one of them saw it. Do you know that the plow driver went by at 2:30 in the morning and reported not seeing a body on the front lawn, and that he was not even interviewed by the state police until August 10th, 2023, 17 months after the murder of John O'Keefe?
all of this stuff. I'm not disputing. Okay, I'm not disputing that. I just appreciate the integrity of my town.
Your town
staying
has no
intact.
integrity right now.
None.
Not as long as this.
It's just like, you know, like that's why I'm here, dude. Like the integrity, like it's like the insinuation there, the implication is that he stood, like he was one of 3 or 4 people standing with the bad guys, right? That were here, been like, we're standing up against this, whatever. It's like, as if the implication then is that the problem with the town isn't the cover up, it's the people in the audience with their mouths taped shut and signs. And that's what he's standing up against, is not the problem that they're protesting. Like, seriously, like, read out, like, you see all these people here. What do you think? This is a fucking joke to these people? Like, they have nothing better to do? Like, they're all being misled? No, dude, read up on it. Like, this guy's a corrections officer. Like, read up on it. These are bad dudes. Like, you're in charge of bad dudes every day. There's some bad dudes walking around your town. You know that Karen Reed didn't kill him, and he's dead, so someone killed him. Someone in that house killed him. I can name them all. We can go down the list. There's 11 of them, supposedly. Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Brian Albert Jr., Caitlin Albert, Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel, Colin Albert, Allie McCabe, Brian Higgins. I don't even know. A couple others, Duty, Fabiano, Mary Kent. Like, we don't know what time they were there, whatever. All those people I just mentioned, though, were in the house. All of them. Wasn't Nicole Albert. Wasn't, and Jen and Matt McCabe, of course. Wasn't Jen McCabe, right? Obviously, she helped cover it up. Wasn't Sarah Levinson. It wasn't Julie Nagel. A woman could not do this. No offense to the ladies out there. They couldn't do it. Brian Albert Jr., biggest dude in the house. I think we got to all agree something ain't right with that boy. I don't think he did it. Maybe if Brendan Albert was there, but not Brian Albert Jr. So I think he's out. Matt McCabe, Matt's more the guy that you go to the house and he's working the grill all the night. He's dopey, and I don't think he's a murderer. Okay, I think we can rule him out. So we're getting down. The list is getting smaller, man, of who could have done this. And by my count, all that's left is Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins. And the dog. And he's got it covered in marks. So, like, you do the math here, man. You tell me who killed him, because it wasn't Karen Reed. And if it wasn't Karen Reed, someone did that.
Man.
Do you live here?
I live in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
That's it? That's it?
Did you not see the fucking select
Yeah, they all live
board?
in the town.
Did you not see how full that room was? And they had kept up there.
I've seen fuller rooms.
You've seen fuller rooms? There was
What a that was
Come
a
on,
douche
man.
move.
Have you seen a select board meeting where a journalist brought up how the sign that says they know Albert killed someone?
No, I don't think I've ever seen.
I think that's the first. I mean, this is not good, man. Don't you think that he should resign at the very least? Yeah, he's fine. Grandpa's fine.
Look at this guy.
Just back in his day, this is like an intimidation tactic that they learned back in the 60s, and he's got to be a hardo. He's a retired cop. I got he's got a thing to do with it. He's a big hardo. He's like, yeah, you know, he doesn't want some young buck from out of town coming into his town and kind of, you know, messing things up. They like things the way they are around here. They like things the way they are. And that's what you're doing, right? The status quo. The status quo.
You live in this town?
So
funny.
I mean, do you want to make out with me? What's going on here? I mean,
You're so weird.
Is that what you want? You're smiling. You seem really excited, getting close.
I'm smiling.
I mean, you don't smell bad, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's, I mean, I would, I guess. You'll get in line after Jill Daniels. You know Jill Daniels? Do you know Jill Daniels? Come on, why can't you say who you are? You know we can find out, right?
This guy is so
Come on,
creepy.
why not just tell me? Come on.
Tell us what you think.
Well, what do you think about the process, sir? What do you think about the process that's going on here? Do you have opinions? Do you say words?
Nope.
So what are you here for?
I knew it.
What'd you come to the meeting
Who
for?
is this guy? What's his
I
deal?
came with a purpose. What purpose did you come for?
I was like, oh my God, that has to be here because of the way you're talking.
Nothing?
Trisha, Mark.
Nothing? Okay.
What's his name? Paul McCall. Hi, Paul. Elise, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Paul.
But it's not, I understand.
Problem.
Peter is very creepy.
Because you didn't think I should say anything.
Very creepy.
You know, I had news articles. Paul McCall. You didn't want me to post that. And I said,
Oh, he spoke at the Canton Select Board meeting?
That's him, yeah. You know? Yeah, it was months ago. That's why I remember you. Because of the way you were talking. What?
I never said you couldn't post on everything, Canton.
You did too.
Everything Canton drama. Okay.
Another town or?
No, I'm not a police officer.
Oh, come on. You said you're something in law enforcement.
What?
You said you're something in law enforcement, like a jail guard or something, CO?
No, I work for the Department of Correction.
Okay, gotcha. And
You actually highlighted me at one point because I was speaking out against Jamie Eldridge.
did I really? So you were a good guy. That's good. Okay. Not a fan. See, Jamie Eldridge is another guy who should be down here. He claims to stand for criminal justice reform. And here we have the most egregious example of why we need criminal
Jamie
justice
Eldridge is
reform.
Soros guy.
Well, I know, but their Soros guy should be standing with us right now. Like, this is the one time where I'm actually calling out the thin blue line and saying
he
that.
doesn't really represent this area, so it's not his.
Yeah, but it's like if an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Turtleboy quoting Martin Luther King right there. And if I live an hour from here, but I don't live in this county, I don't live in this town. But I'm still invested in it because if this can happen to Karen Reed in this town, where else can this happen? Because Karen Reed is a nice person. She's a nice person. She didn't do
I
anything
don't know
wrong.
her. I believe she is a nice person.
Like, she doesn't bring people like this to meetings and acting like tough guys like this. Like, this says a lot right here. The way this guy is behaving, his thuggish behavior right here, trying to intimidate. I don't know what he's trying to do.
I don't know.
He's certainly not here to talk.
Well, if you're talking to me, talk to me.
I know, but it's the peripheral here. The peripheral. So, you know, see what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on? It's like it's an eclipse here, a grandpa eclipse. So
like this guy, meanwhile, it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, grandpa. At least this guy's talking to me, like doing something useful. I'm trying to educate this guy over here. And I feel like I'm maybe getting somewhere. Like maybe he'll Google this afterwards and realize how foolish he looks. I don't know. But the fact that he's liked my blogs before and like I hate Jamie Eldridge. Jamie Eldridge is a fucking asshole. He's a state senator from Acton. He's the biggest liberal in the state by far. He should be the first one in line. He's always ranting about criminal justice reform and we need to fix the system and all that. Okay, great. Well, here's like the most egregious thing wrong with the system I've ever seen. And you're on Facebook. People are like Jay Roberts over there on Facebook commenting on his page and being like, he's like, let's let it play out. It's like, dude, what? Is it because Karen's white? Like, is that what this comes down to? Is Karen the wrong skin color? Like, is she not able to be a victim enough because she's white? Is that what we're getting at here? Like, I don't want to make this a racial thing, but like, what is wrong? Like, how is Kara Reed not a sympathetic person to you, Jamie Eldridge? So I agree. Jamie Eldridge sucks balls. He's horrible. It's like, but here I am. Like, why don't you just because that shows that you can trust me. Like, I'm a level-headed person who you've agreed with before. So obviously I'm not just spouting bullshit. Like I'm on this because there's something seriously wrong here, man. And you got to wake up. I'm never going to reach Peter Hennessy. I realize that. He's useless. He's not a serious person. I could reach this guy. So Paul McAuliffe needs to get his head out of his ass and open his eyes up.
Anyway, I highly suggest you read up on this because Karen Reed did not do it. It is not an opinion. It is a fact. She did not do this. She's not going to jail for this. And there's an FBI investigation into it. And you might want to think about what side of history you want to be on when this is all said and done.
I just want to be on Canton's side.
Then be with us. Then you're with us then. Because we're on the side of
Canton's
Canton.
side. We're fucking random citizens.
Yeah.
See?
That's what John Connolly called them.
That's
She's
what
not
I am.
she's not actually coarse. She's quoting John Connolly on the hot mic.
It's pretty offensive, isn't it, when you hear it? And you're
Yeah, it
sitting
is.
there?
It was visibly
You have
shaken.
a question or you make a statement and they don't want to hear it. They want to. So he says, "Fucking random citizen" in the hot mic. He's got to learn how that works.
Well, I never said that was a decent thing.
What?
I never said that was a decent thing.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to hear
Why
from
are you
us.
yelling at me?
Sorry. I'm a little bit upset because this is the town that I live in, raise kids in.
Please.
Why wouldn't I yell? It's upsetting that I don't feel like I can call the police if I have something wrong.
No, that's a big problem,
Right
man.
now.
I would not feel safe in this.
It's just like he doesn't get it. Like he obviously doesn't get the big picture. It's like, no, people don't trust the police in this town. They're not, I mean, they don't want to do anything. I mean, that guy Zepp seemed okay when he came. He didn't want any part of anything. He's just like, well, fucking get me out of here. But it's not Zepp's fault. It's Helena Rafferty's fault. She's the boss, and she set this tone where it's like nobody can speak out against this culture of silence. It's horrible. Yeah, that's a better question, John. It's like, then why are you here? Why'd you here? And yeah, he did get a little weird with the women. Like, it was inappropriate. And maybe he's just, like, I don't know what his deal is, but I feel like we can reach him.
With the police in this town, absolutely not. And I'm not kidding either. I know that they know that Karen Reed didn't do this, and they're all going along with it. Did you know that the Canton police, when they arrived at the scene,
Because they have to be.
I don't trust Michael Lank. I don't trust Michael Lank, that's for sure. I could think of many more. Gallagher. I do not trust him.
But how do we know who they're going to send?
I do not trust Saraf. I do not trust Mulaney.
No, it's a real.
I certainly do not trust
traumatic.
Helena Rafferty.
No.
Certainly do not trust Helena Rafferty.
Absolutely is traumatic. We are going through trauma right now. And some people are re-experiencing trauma.
Well, then I suggest you cope with that.
We are.
Cope with that.
This is it. You're looking at it, man. This is the cope process. This is the cope process right here. Because this is if you don't speak out about the most transparent injustice that I've ever seen, then what good are we? You know, if you followed my work, you know that I go out against bad people. Monica Cannon Graham.
I actually, you know what? I did appreciate your piece on Canton several months ago. about the girl who was being bullied on the bus.
Yes, I remember that.
I did appreciate that.
So this was this is a story I wrote in Canton in May or June of 2021. There was a middle school girl on the bus who was being bullied. There was a video of her being bullied because she had expressed conservative viewpoints in class. And that's like right up my alley, right? Like that's the kind of story I write about. And I write about it because the school kind of enabled it, and the school was pushing this kind of like left-wing agenda, and it made like a 7th grader spoke out and expressed conservative viewpoints in class, which is okay. You can express any viewpoints you want. It's a free country. And because of the atmosphere that was created at the school, the students felt empowered to like pick on this girl. And that's what happened. And there was a video on the bus, and I wrote about it. And I'm sure the Alberts loved that story. I'm sure Jill Daniels got extra moist over that story. Like, I'm sure a lot of these people, this guy liked it, right? So like, if you trust me with that issue, like if you I've kind of built up credibility with this crowd. Like, I'm on your side historically with this stuff. Why would I lead you astray suddenly? Why would I suddenly like, no, I'm just, well, now the cops are bad. It's like, no, I don't think all cops are bad, but Michael Proctor's bad as shit, man. And he lives in your town. And as a result, there are murderers walking free, dude. That's a serious problem, my dude. Serious problem.
That piece, and I was disappointed that we didn't have a group out there protecting.
Oh, we
that
do,
girl.
all right.
Right. And so, but nobody died in that. This is different. A dead body, and an innocent person isn't facing life in prison over a school bullying incident. That was unfortunate. I remember that one. The girl was being picked up on the bus at the middle school. I remember it well. It was in May of 2021. As a matter of fact, I believe John O'Keefe and the Alberts like that, because the Alberts used to be fans of mine. I don't know if you know that. They had Turtleboy shirts, etc. But this is a little more serious. This is not only a man who has been killed, but innocent woman is facing life in prison.
If it is this obvious and all of this is being presented, I'm not really worried about it playing out in a way that's not favorable to Karen Reed.
How long are you willing to let this go on for?
I mean, do I have a choice?
A corrupt, yeah, you could join us. The more, when people speak out,
like,
when
He
people
doesn't
speak
care
out,
if it doesn't pan out for Karen Reed.
yeah, like what if Karen Reed's lynched?
That's what you just said.
What if Karen?
You don't care how
I
it pans
didn't.
out.
No, I didn't at all.
What don't you care about?
I said that if everything is as obvious as we're saying it is, then I don't believe that it's not going to play out in Karen Reed's favor.
Why?
That's what I just said.
Why? Yeah, you got to research, man. And I used to, and you know what? And you know what, Paul?
Spin everything because you're angry at me. All right, that's a problem in itself.
Angry at
I
you.
used to think the same thing. I used to trust the systems. I used to trust the institutions.
No. I'm not a big system guy either, but like it's the one that we have in place. So like, what's my option?
What kind of defeatist attitude is that? It's the one that we have in place. So what's my option? I don't know. Not going along with it. Like what? It's like, yeah, so the system's corrupt. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know. Not be a pussy like about it. What kind of shit is this? That's the most un-American thing I've ever heard, Paul McAuliffe. Get your shit together. Oh my goodness. I've never heard such a sad, pathetic state of American apathy. Oh my gosh. Embarrassing. Seriously. Read a book, dude. Oh, I can't believe an American said that.
I'm not a mob justice guy. I don't do that.
We're not here for mob justice.
Well, that's kind of what this
is. This is a peaceful protest.
Yeah, why can't we?
Nobody here. Mob justice is violence. We're not here for that. We're here for peaceful protest. Martin Luther King was not about mob justice, but he still rolled deep. You know, I mean, yeah, this is the only guy who's doing any sort of physical
violence.
Waiting to see the tape afterwards, and Chris Albert too.
We've had no problem with any
Chris
violence.
Albert's a thug,
and
man.
We've done all
Chris
the
Albert's a
overhead
thug.
pass, silent, no
violence.
and we've been attacked
None.
by vicious people from the other side. And I'll tell you,
I gotta go
spitting
get my
on us,
Karen Reed sign. So.
And
All right. So that was an interesting night. I'll be back. Let's just put it that way. I'll be back. Let me read any more donors. We got any more turtle chats here to read? I don't want to miss anyone if I got any here. I understand earlier, Jay, I missed his. I think this might be him. This is Jay, who sent $7 and said, Can you now confirm that Jilly Donkey Teeth Daniels actually smells like Bigfoot's dick? It can't. I don't really smell her. I'm sure Jill smells fine, but some other issues she needs to work out, quite frankly, other issues. All right. So thank you for that one. I also missed one here, I believe, from Bob. Sent $25. I missed a couple here. I got to bang through. Bob sends $25 and says, Turtleboy, follow the solo cups right into 34 Fairview, depose the Canton cops, and get them on record under oath. Those solo cups came from the house. Well, of course they did, but what's that going to do? I do agree that they definitely came from the house, but I'm not sure what. And I also am not a lawyer. I can't depose anyone. So there's that. Okay. What else do we have here? If I missed a couple, let's see, with the Waltham Turtles one, I missed this one from Elizabeth, sends $25, and her message is it possible to get a judge on one of your shows to analyze Judge Cannoni's courtroom behavior? That seems like a long shot, but that would be a really cool show. I agree with that, but I don't think we're going to get any judges on here talking crap about other judges, as awesome as that content would be, for sure. Okay, next up, we have here, let's see, we got the other one from Brian. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone going through these. We got Martin earlier, Bad Grandma. We have Waltham Turtle Scott, Erica Madden. Okay, we had Sarah. Okay, so now we're on to Mailman. Mailman sends $20. His message is, if anyone else wants to donate, and I'll read your message out loud to the class, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. Send whatever you want, and I'll read it. This is from Mailman. Says, Chicken Pop Charlie! It's all crumbling down, he says. Thank you, Mr. Mailman. Keep up the great work. Keep delivering that mail, sir. Next up, we have Weird Grandpa again. This time sends $10 and says, I believe an underrated believer in all this is Kevin Albert. If I was Brian Albert, my first call that night would be to my brother, who's a detective sergeant at Canton Police, just like Chris Albert called his brother when you invaded D&E Pizza. Also hope there was some Canton Police garage surveillance footage spanning from the time Karen Reed's vehicle was towed there from Dighton. If there is, I bet you they've deleted it. So thank you there, Grandpa. That's a very good point, though. I agree. I definitely think Kevin Albert is involved in this. There's no way. How is he not involved? Stop it. Stop it. MJ sends 5 big ones, and MJ's comment is, love the shirt. Your balls must be huge. Still laughing at Gerber servers. You know, it's a little embarrassing, but in high school, I had an issue. It wasn't elephantitis, but it was like, my balls were huge. Not figurative, like huge. I had huge balls. And I just always thought that God blessed me with huge balls. But as it turns out, it's filled with like liquid. Like it needed to get drained. It was a hernia. It's actually called a hernia. So I had to get surgery. I still have a scar down here when I was 18 years old. Before, like summer going into college, I got hernia surgery. I know it's a little TMI, but I had like my balls are not just figurative. They're actually big balls, but now they're just regular balls. But back then they were actually like huge fucking balls. So, and like, it was like a party favor. Like people, like, you know, you change in the locker room and other kids on the football team noticed them and they're like, oh shit. The black guys loved them. Like they thought it was fucking wild. And so they'd always ask me to whip them out in school and they tell other kids like, yo, check this out. Show me balls. So I would whip them out. And then, you know, the black guy's still a little bit loud. And so they'd start, oh shit, that boy got some big balls. That boy got some big balls running around. The principal's right there. I'm suspect. I got another day in-house for showing my balls in school. So that's my TMI story. I had some big balls in high school. Okay, next up. And don't get Jill excited talking about my balls, please. We don't need that. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Alana. It's my sister's name. sends $10 and says, I fucking love you. I appreciate that, Alana. I fucking love you too. You're very nice. Thank you for the $10. Very generous of you. Okay, next up, we have Turtle Girl sends $5. Turtle Girl's comment is, please call the mayor of Canton. Canton doesn't have a mayor. They have a board of selectmen and a town administrator, as a lot of towns. Only cities have mayors. So thank you very much. A-Rod sends $10. And her comment is, so let it play out. It's easy for him to say he's not paying over $500,000 in lawyer fees. He's not losing sleep at night. He's not losing his job license. Yeah, Karen should not be going through this. It should not have gotten this far. And that's exactly right. It's just like, dude, it's so easy to say when it's not you. A true testament of a man is not when they just say, well, I'll do something when it affects me. The true testament of a person and, you know, a man, it's like when you see somebody else who you don't know, who is being hurt and unjustly, if you don't speak out about it because it's not you, then you're not a man. You got to be a man, dude. Sorry. Taking away your man card there. Sorry. That's not cool behavior. Not cool behavior. Man up. All right, next up, I think this is the last one here from Jonathan. He sends $5, and his comment is, the problem is that many people who lean right, care about freedom, etc., somehow also worship the police. It's an idol they think will save them from crime or something. Sad to see in action. Guilty as charged, my dude. Guilty as charged. And I was part of the problem, I think, for a long time. I still trust my friends who are police officers, but I no longer trust the institution of the police, nor should anyone else, because they have to earn this back. Quite frankly, they have to earn this back, and it's not going to be enough when the bad guys are charged to just for them bad cops are bad now, dude. Like the Boston Police Department today had a Facebook post. I guess it's been 30 years since Detective Mulligan was killed, not by Sean Ellis, but by somebody else who they never found. And Detective Mulligan was a dirty cop. He got killed because he was in the game. Let's be real. They robbed drug dealers pretty regularly, and he was part of that crew. And he got got. So, no, it's a shame when anyone has to die, but he wasn't some innocent guy, just cop going and doing it. Like, he was not Michael Chestnut. I'll tell you that much. He's no Michael Chestnut. And he does not deserve to be memorialized like that 30 years later. And let's be real. Like, whoever killed him was never held accountable for it because of dirty Boston cops, because of some dirty Boston cops. And they still have pigs like Carl Dougal on the Boston Police Department, bringing great shame. And they're sharing, like, they still have the Karen repost up being like, the killer was brought to justice for John O'Keefe. Like, John O'Keefe and Mulligan are similar in some ways. They were both killed as a result of their association with corrupt cops, right? Brian Albert and Sarah and Brazel and all those other guys. But the difference is that John O'Keefe himself was not corrupt. John O'Keefe had no record of corruption. He was, by all accounts, a good person and a good cop. So that's a tragedy. Like, why aren't you honoring him? Why are you honoring like this guy from 30 years ago who got caught? He got because he was in the game. Detective Mulligan was in the game. He preyed on vulnerable women. Like, it all came out. He was a bad dude. Twat out of right. But Mulligan was a bad guy. O'Keefe was a good guy. So, but like, same situation here. Like, Mulligan's family wanted Sean Ellis to spend the rest of his life in prison, even though it's clear he probably didn't do it. Whereas John O'Keefe's family, same thing. Like, they want Karen Reed in prison, even though they know she didn't do it. They know. But okay. If anybody else, let me just check the donos. The turtle chats. I don't know, miss any cash apps if we had any here. I don't think we had any more. Okay, cool. I don't think we do. Yeah. Okay. If anyone else wants to donate, click at the link at the top. For Turtle Chat. I'll take some questions if you guys have any. It's a little bit late, but could the defense get Chris Albert's phone? Okay. No, Keith does sound like a good guy. And Karen Reed sounds like a good guy, too. They're both good people. And they're both victims in this. They're both victims in this. Oh, they're not looking for Nicole. They know who killed Nicole Brown Simpson. I don't know if you heard, dude. It was this guy named OJ. Yeah, he did it. Mystery solved. How about this one? Do you think the Pats fan's death is odd? Norfolk DA saying it was a medical issue, never named the subject. You know what, though? It's like I've looked into that. That dude went to a section he wasn't even sitting in and got in a fight. Like, I'm sorry. And he was fat. Like, I've seen a video of it. He didn't get hit hard, and he like fucking is like one of like maybe he got the jab. I don't know. Some like that guy. I saw the video. He clearly was not hit that hard, and he was an equal combatant in it. So it's hard for me to be like, yeah, those guys who punched him are murderers. They're assholes too, but they're all assholes, and someone died as a result of it because that guy was fucking horribly out of shape. I don't know. I've seen it. Is Proctor suspended? Your guess is as good as mine. Something's going on there. Something's going on. What is okay, right, sure. What is Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales connection to Krusty Panties? Just that she, as soon as he started saying negative things about Karen Reed, she immediately contacted him and was like, so I assume they're working together now. Who knows? I mean, Kevin's a fraud. He's a loser. So he is what he is. Yeah, I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. It sounded like a heart. I think his heart stopped, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it's true. He does run a welfare pizza shop. It's just the assholes in town who feel bad for him, who just probably is like, oh, what do we got to get a fucking, we gotta get the chicken parm again. Oh, God. How long do we have to keep this guy's business afloat with our sympathy? The next hearing is in January. I don't know the exact date. I don't know anything about any 911 call. I don't know anything about it. I never heard anyone. I never heard any 911 calls. I don't know anything about that. But I bet I have an idea of what it would sound like, though. Just saying. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Who was dressed as a chicken? That was John Como, one of the admins of the Canton Confidential Facebook group. Yeah, that was good shit there. He was great. He came dressed as a goddamn chicken. Beautiful. Beautiful. Again, not normal. That's not a normal way to conduct your business in town. Like, that should be a red flag. Like, we should do something to get the chicken man out of here. That's not good. It's not good for business. The turtle man's out of here. The chicken man's out of here. There's people gagged. It looks like a freaking kink convention in here. We just can't keep doing this. Yeah, the Pats have a chance against everyone, you know? The Pats aren't the kind of team that's going to get blowed out by anyone. Their defense is too good. And they're still the Cowboys. They're still the Cowboys. Like, that franchise is cursed. If someone made a donation on Turtleboy Daily News, how does that get read? I don't know. Again, I'm not getting the emails like I'm supposed to for these, so I'm checking on my website for them, but if I missed it, I missed it. I apologize for that. I'm trying to read as many as I can, but Prime Lawyer Malloy or Rodney Harrison. Oh, Rodney Harrison, man. I mean, Lawyer Malloy was very good. He's a Pro Bowler, but come on. Rodney Harrison's like an old timer. Although neither could really play in the league today. with the rules. Like they don't make safeties like that anymore. They can't do that. What they used to do is just headhunt people and murder them. I got another Cash App here. Let me read the Cash App. This is from Katie. Katie sends $50 and says, for the grandpa eclipse tonight. Much love always. Thank you very much, Katie. Very kind of you. Thank you. The grandpa eclipse indeed. Indeed. Do the Vikings have a chance? Nah. I mean, the Vikings, Kirk Cousins is like, he's like a better version of Carson Wentz. The stats are great. But then in the most critical situations, just why did they not spike that ball in that game? They had that under control. They should have won that game against the Chargers. And then why didn't he spike the ball? It's first down. You got Justin Jefferson. You could score a touchdown, man, win the game. And then these throws. I mean, it was Hawkinson's fault. He should have caught that ball. But they're just one of those franchises that I feel like is kind of cursed. Like they're underrated. The Vikings are underrated, cursed. Like people think of the Bills because the Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, but the Vikings have also lost 4 Super Bowls, just not in a row. So they're kind of equally cursed when you think about it. Kind of. Kirk Cousins doesn't suck, but you ain't gonna win with him. It's about being clutch, and that's the problem with Mac Jones. I love Mac. I'm a Mac Jones guy. His stats are great this year, man. He looks good. It's just he stalls. And it's not necessarily his fault, but you got to be that transcendental player to be, that's the difference between the good ones and the great ones. Is he just they give him that Eagles game? He had a couple chances there to win the game, and he just didn't do it. And the same with the Dolphins. And I mean, the good news is we apparently lost to the 2 best teams in the NFL, so that's good. But I just hope Mac Jones, you don't want him to become Kirk Cousins or Carson Wentz or someone like that, like a good stat guy, but just can't get you there when you need him to get there. Like that's what, like obviously Patrick Mahomes is a great stat guy and can get you there. Tom Brady, same shit. But certain guy like Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what am I going with him? I don't know. But like Peyton Manning in 2015 sucked. But he got him there. He got him. His defense did most of the work, but he still got him there. Russell Wilson in his prime was never like a superstar, but he was great in the clutch, and that's what you need from these people. But by the way, Kelsey, I fucking hate Travis Kelsey. I fucking hate him. This fake bootleg Gronk. I hate that guy. And Taylor Swift, that is the gayest thing. How gay is that? Like you can have any woman you want. You're an NFL tight end, and you're going to date Taylor Swift. What are you doing, dude? I'm embarrassed for him. Embarrassed. He is insufferable. Like Taylor Swift isn't even like hot. She's just rich. Like who looks at Taylor Swift and is like, oh yeah, like nobody looks at Taylor Swift and is like, she's so hot. She's rich. And I guess she could sing. And she's popular. She's got a lot of Instagram followers, but nobody looks at Taylor Swift. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to go beat it to Taylor Swift tonight. Nobody does that. So it's like, what do you, like you're Travis Kelsey. You could have any woman you want, and you want Taylor Swift. Like this is fake, you know? Like Gronk wouldn't do that. Gronk goes out and bangs porn stars. Like, and he takes pictures of BB Jones. Like that's cool. That Gronk is cool. Taylor Swift? What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Anyway, anyone else have any other questions? Oh, she's not hot. You guys think Taylor Swift is hot? I mean, she's pretty. She's pretty. But come on. Like, stop it. You guys think Taylor Swift is hot? She's not bad. She's not ugly, obviously, but she's not famous because she's hot. Like, she's too really skinny. Like, does she have tits? I haven't even looked. Does she have an ass? I'm just being real here. She's not hot. But all right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. But you know, I mean, I wouldn't throw her out of bed either, you know. But I'm gonna get a cat for the mouse. I feel like we should, man. fucking mouse. I'm going to find that motherfucker. As long as they don't go upstairs. They never go upstairs for some reason. They haven't figured that one out yet. But they will. But all right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the live show. Thank everybody for joining me tonight. And biggest crowd we've ever had tonight. Not tomorrow. What am I talking about? Sunday for the live show. Sunday. Peace, Turtle Riders.